Hi everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. This is what I've been making today, and if you stay with me I will show you how I put it together. My card base is a piece of thick whisper white, which I've cut at 4 inches wide and trimmed it to 11.5, and I folded it at 5 3/4. And I also have a piece of pear pizzazz, which I've cut to 3 3/4 by 5.5. And that is what I'm going to be stamping on, and I'm using the hardwood stamp. And because it is a big, it's a big size of stamp, the way that I find easiest to use it is rather than try and mount it on a block and then try and manipulate it, because my hands aren't particularly big. I find the easiest way of doing this is to put it on the table and to put the paper or card to it. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to use pumpkin pie ink, and I'm just going to ink up my stamp. And I'm trying to not let my table bounce as far as possible. Isn't always easy. Okay, so that's now nicely inked up, and I'm going to put my pear pizzazz onto it. I'm just trying to find a nice piece here, and I'm just going to press down on top of it, and the paper is just so that I don't get my hands all mucky. Okay, so there's my pear pizzazz, all ready for the next step. Okay, I've stamped some leaves with the vintage leaves set, and I've die cut them out, and as you can see I've shaded some of them, and I'm just going to finish the last one so that you can see. Now these are cut from whisper white, and I've already given this one a coat of pear pizzazz. So now I'm going to bring in some Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to give that a little bit of a hint here and there of a Daffodil Delight. And now I've got pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to put in some spots of that as well. And look how that just brings that leaf to life. And I've stamped these in different shades of green. This one was, I think, was in garden green. This was in always artichoke, and this one I believe was that pear pizzazz? I think it was old olive actually. I just pulled, 3 random shades of green off the shelf, and I wish I'd been paying more attention to what I was doing, but you use whatever shades of green you have handy. Right, now I also have this piece of DSP, which I've cut to 3 3/4 by 2 inches, and I'm going to do the same sort of thing with this one. So I'm going to start with the Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to, and I'm working on the side which has got the messages. And pumpkin pie. Just making it look kind of vintagey. And let's bring back my piece that I've stamped, because I think I'll do put a bit of Daffodil Delight on that as well. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of bringing all of these pieces together so that they are similar in tone, and they sort of echo each other. And of course the great thing about Stampin' Up is that everything coordinates. So if you're using Pear Pizzazz ink, it will coordinate with Pear Pizzazz paper, and it will coordinate with Pear Pizzazz card. There we go, I think I'm happy with that for now. So here are all the leaves that I've stamped and die cut, and I'm just going to arrange these how I like them. And have that one popping out from under there, I think, and that one there. Okay. So I'm just going to put them together, a few glue dots and dimensionals. So that's my lowest one, and I'll pop that on top of it, and this one is going to be peeping out, so put a glue dot on that one. Okay, and this one we'll put a dimensional onto. Last of all, put a glue dot on that one. Come on, glue dot. There you go. You can do it. My finger there. Okay. So there's a nice pile of leaves. And I'm going to tie these with some linen thread and some very vanilla extra thick. So I'm going to cut myself two lengths that are more or less the same size. This should be plenty. Plenty. And woo, the one that got away. And I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to sort of catch all of my ends in the loop and bring it tight, and then bring that round to the front and just tie a knot. It's a little bit too long on that side, and I'm just going to fray the ends of my baker's twine, because it will anyway, so let's just take advantage of it, shall we? Okay, so there's my pile of leaves. So let's bring back my card base and start beginning to putting this together. Right. Okay, where's the snail? There it is. There's the snail. It's been crawling off lately. So here we go. And to put that, decide where to put that. Actually, I kind of like it up towards the top there. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. So I'm setting it down just about ½ inch from the top, because that's where it looks good to me. And put some dimensionals on the back of this. So and there we go. Just want to put a last finishing touch, and I'm going to use Awesomely Artistic, and I'm going to use this stamp here, the one that says Friend, and it's mounted up on my block, and I have my little scrap of Paper Pizzazz card, and again using pumpkin pie, I'm just going to stamp that. Just going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make sure that the ink has transferred, and it has. And I've got a 1 3/4 inch circle punch to go on here, and punch that out. And I have my sponge dauber, my pumpkin pie, and I'm taking a lot of the ink off the sponge, just running around the edges, just to give it some dimension. And this is Paper Pizzazz. Just darken it a bit further. And I don't know where the Daffodil Delight has wandered off to. Disappeared. Never mind, not to worry. Not to worry. That'll be fine as it is, I think, actually. Okay, so that's now looking nice and old and rusty, so it's going to go in there. But there's one more thing that I want to do. And while I've got my linen thread out, I'm going to cut off a length of it, and I'm going to put a bit of fast fuse in this corner here. I'm going to create some Poodle Loops. Now, Poodle Loops are sort of a trademark of my upline, who is Sam Hammond, and who is an amazing, amazing demonstrator, who does all sorts of wonderful things. And she likes adding these little loops of thread to her cards, and so we've started calling them Poodle Loops, because she is Poodles. That is the name that she, that's her, that's the name that she operates her business under. So I'm just going to tuck the ends in, and does that need to be reshaped a bit because it's sticking out over the card? Yes, it does, I think. Okay, now that looks like, there is sticky over that, and you wouldn't want to stick your fingers in it, and it would stick to the envelope. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the sentiment that I just stamped, and we will call that Dunsky. And there it is finished. And I have to say that when I started to make this card, I had a completely different idea in my head. To start with, it was going to be a landscape, and it didn't have all of the leaves, and it didn't have this, and it definitely didn't have the Poodle Loops going on. So how I arrived at this from the image that I had in my head, I really can't tell you. It just happened. But I hope you've enjoyed it anyway, and if so, I would really like it if you'd leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up, and if you really enjoyed this project, then please do consider subscribing to this channel, because I will be posting some more in the very near future. And if you want to know more about me, then I have a blog, I have a Facebook page. You can get there from the links underneath this video, and there's also a link there to my Stampin' Up shop if you want to get your hands on some of the things that I have used. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope that I will see you again soon. Bye bye.